the band, maybe just all you say hello in unison or something. You know, kind of clever. All right. 1, 2,
3. Hello.
Well, I meant after I said like the name of the show, but that was good. That was really good.
I said
it. Do it in post, Alex.
Wait, so is it like?
We'll fix it in post. We'll do it live.
Is it like hi? We're the North Country or what?
Hey, you're listening to StageCraft on WERA. My name's Amanda Dove. I'm here with Alex, Don, and Kat, and the North Country.
Hey.
Hey, how's it going?
Hello. Like it.
Yeah, all right.
Hey, how's it going?
I'm starting to get concerned.
Hello. Margo.
Hello.
Yes. Hi. Margo.
Hiya.
Yep. I love your pants.
Come on in.
Have a seat. Enjoy some chips and or bursts.
We want to keep you separated a little bit so you don't know what you're doing.
Cool. And there will be a portion where we lock the other two out, and then you have to answer questions in escalating difficulty about each other.
And then we're gonna grill you on whether you have the same answer. You know.
It's gonna get weird.
Yeah, it's going to get weird, very weird.
Oh yeah. The newlyweds.
So the first question we have, and I think it's the most obvious, is where the you on January 6th?
I was in Moscow.
I got caught up in the crowd. I didn't know how. I thought it was a gift shop. Next thing I know.
Should we talk into the mics? Is that the deal?
Yeah. And it's pretty, loose. We try to keep it somewhat on topic in the realm of, artistic creation. But, if you find a question to be completely off the wall, it's funnier to say, like, that's a dumb question than it is for you to, just lie.
Sure. Cool.
Well, maybe better to lie.
Depends
I
on what
can
the
come up
lie
with some
is.
pretty fantastical lies.
Yeah. Well, give us a good one. Give us. Should we do the 2 truths and a lie game?
Oh no.
Should we start?
Well, that in itself was a lie. I'm not good at coming up with fantastical lies.
This game is not
on the spot anyway.
We're not off to a good start on this one.
Well, I'm glad because I was having a little bit of an anxiety attack having to come up with that.
With lies or the truth?
I'm
maybe
with you
both.
on that.
Yeah, both.
Come up with truths that
That are
that
interesting.
could be lies.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Convincing.
It's also like one of those icebreaker things that happen at, like when you're in school.
Oh God.
You know what I'm talking about? I'm like,
Yes. You're like, what am I?
PTSD.
I don't know how to. What am I supposed to say to that?
Right.
Some of us went to school before there was recorded time, so it's harder for us to remember.
Oh yeah.
Got it.
Yeah.
In the 1900s.
Yeah, you'd have to ask. I'd have to check the scripts.
Yeah.
I'd have to go back to the old records. Should we? Can everyone just introduce themselves, just so we have it on the record? Why don't we start with?
I'm Margo MacDonald, member of the North Country.
I'm John Harmon. I'm in the North Country. I play guitar.
I'm Andrew Grossman. I'm also in the North Country.
Wait a minute, there's a little pattern going on here.
It would have been awkward if there was
Totally
I'm from Duran in the wrong room. I'm so sorry.
I'm Margo, and I have just left the North Country. So I'm so sorry, guys.
Wait a minute, are we going to have any rules about munching while we're on mic? I guess probably not. Or maybe we
Try to keep your mouth sounds to a minimum.
Well, you did provide us noisy snacks, so I don't think we
They're
should
all
fault
noisy.
anyone.
They're all noisy.
This isn't
Yeah.
an ASMR
This
situation.
is not a bag
It
of
is actually.
marshmallows.
Everyone's going to be going to be held liable. But potato chips, I thought they were good for the throat, Don.
They are. They are very good for the throat, for singing.
Wait,
Is that true?
Absolutely
Oils.
true.
That's what Don
And
claims.
salt gets the saliva going.
Yeah.
All right.
But
Wow,
but
man.
in a modest amount.
Yeah.
That is what he says. And the oil.
It's true. The oil is very good.
So would I chop them up and I snort them? That's not the way to do it.
No, that's not going to help you.
Let's do it. This is the North Country.
They wanted to ban grinding. And then what happened was...
Thinking where the hell is this song going? Who am I? What am I gonna do about it? What does it matter if I don't? I wanna be here, I wanna be clear, but my mind's a million miles away. If I had 100 years, I wanna be now, but I don't know how. I wanna put my mind to rest, just be around. Thinking of the future, thinking of the past. You're thinking too much to be in the moment, and then the moments don't last. The time is precious, you only get so much. The present's all we have, so let it be enough. I wanna be here, I wanna be clear, but my mind's a million miles away. If I had 100 years, I wanna be now, but I don't know how. I wanna put my mind to rest, just be around.
You say the first two words.
Alex
John
is
will
going
say
to
the next two words,
Alex
and
is
Marco
going
will
to
say the next two words.
The
We're here with the North
station
Country.
ID.
Yeah.
Yes.
I don't think we really clarified what's going to happen.
No.
Okay, Alex is
Yeah.
going to start, and then you guys come in together.
Yeah.
We'll see what happens.
Yeah. Hey everybody, this is Alex from StageCraft. Thanks for joining us. I'm here with my buddy Don and Amanda Dove and Kat, and we are joined today by the North Country.
Hello.
This is amazing. We're killing it today.
We know what happened to that cotton candy. Wait a minute. Do you mean my dental noises?
Those are my dental noises. Thank you very much. So speaking of dental noises, I assume you all play music, right?
That's correct, yeah.
Don and I were talking, kidding aside, Don and I were talking about the technique in which you used to create the album. Are you tired of talking about it? Do you still like to talk about it?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I feel like we're still learning from it and learning how to do it better. So, yeah, I'm still...
Would you introduce the concept
Sure.
to our listeners
Yes.
and explain how you utilized it?
Yes, so we just released a record called Born at the Right Time, Exquisite Corpse, which we recorded during the pandemic lockdowns of 2020 and 2021. And we recorded it, we wrote it, performed it, recorded it all remotely from our own homes, isolated in wherever we record our stuff. I was in the basement, but and it was the whole process started by everyone composed and recorded one small piece of music, maybe like a minute or so of music, not like a full song, but just a little snippet of something, and then sent it to one other person in the band who worked on it for a week, and then sent it to another person in the band, and so on and so forth until every piece went through every member of the band.
How many times?
Once.
Just one?
Yeah.
One time for each person.
For each person,
So there's
yeah.
6 rounds, and we set up like a schedule so that each piece of music would go through us in a different order. And we didn't really know what was going to happen, and it was just kind of a way to stay connected and stay creative during the pandemic. And then we finished it and was like, well, actually, this is kind of cool. We should release this. So, and now we're here in the basement making dental
now you're
noises.
Stars.
Yeah.
Yeah, baby.
Yeah. So that was the process of making that record.
I don't know if you want elaborations or anything. Yeah, it was a very interesting, particularly because, as Andrew can share if he wants, the history of the band. The band has been around for a long time, probably more than a decade at this point. But Margot and I joined the band most recently, probably. Recent, but it was like 4 years ago at this point.
Yeah.
But we hadn't ever really recorded or been involved in like the full creative process of writing an album with the band. And so I think for me, one of the things I was excited about was this was an opportunity for the current lineup to kind of explore how we work together, given that Margot brings a very amazing palette of sounds that's like super specific to I've never heard anyone else sing like Margot. And
Thanks, bud.
Just like for me, I played guitar in other bands and it was very like more like punk rock and math rock, and so for me to be joining the North Country felt unobvious, and so I was really excited about this idea of like, what do we sound like, the six of us, when the slate is totally clean, and we're not even, I mean, we still haven't even really figured out what we all sound like with the clean slate in the room together at this point. But this was cool because we were all getting to very much bring like from our own spaces and like literally and emotionally.
Yeah. Everybody in the band has solo projects going on, and the North Country has primarily been, centered around Andrew's songwriting. And then we step in and kind of like add arrangements and see how we can, lift the song up after it's pretty much done being written. So it was really cool to do a 6-person co-write in a very strange way.
I think that's super interesting because I saw you guys at DC9 and I really can't imagine the band in a different way, just because it all sounded so good together. Like all the dynamics were amazing. Margot, I don't know if you remember this, but I came up to you after the show and I was like, what's up with your vocal chain? Because it was insane. I don't know what's going on. I need that in my life. But you're so right. I've never heard anyone sing like that or have these like arrangements the way that you do. But Andrew, you mentioned that you're still learning from the process.
Yeah.
What were some lessons that you took away after recording in this way? Would you do it again?
We're definitely, we've been talking about like for doing it again. The circumstances in which we made Exquisite Corpse were so specific, of just like everyone locked in their house, and that was like all you had to do. So I don't think it would make sense to do exactly that same thing again, but I feel like we unlocked something really interesting in terms of like how we can collaborate. And I'm definitely interested in exploring more how we can make use of this like thing that we've unlocked. And I think one thing that I've learned is just about like it's been such an interesting approach to songwriting, because I think it really opened my eyes to the idea that songwriting is not about like choosing chords or finding a melody, but it's like finding a mood. And there was like points in, or an attitude or something, because there were like points in each one of the 6 songs where we see them like bit by bit getting built. Like there's a point where it's like, okay, now it's the song that it's gonna be. Like the attitude is now there, and now the people who are building on it from there are just responding to that attitude. And sometimes the attitude is there at the beginning, and sometimes it was like at the midpoint, and sometimes it was at the end. But it was never really like the chords. It was the attitude. And so that was an interesting thing that I don't think I'd ever realized about songwriting before. I don't know if y'all share that opinion or you have a totally different
Let's
opinion.
talk about the attitude. I like that word.
Yeah.
The attitude. What do you think about that?
I like it.
Yeah.
I mean, that definitely resonates with my experience. I think an important sort of element of the process was that it was not ever intended to be our next release. It was literally just like, almost like we wanted to do a band's camp where we all like got an Airbnb and like went away for the weekend, but we really weren't sure how to do that with COVID. So this was like a way to kind of do band camp in a way where it was like, let's just throw out the rules and how we've ever done anything and just do like a game, like an icebreaker, essentially.
Yeah, like they said, it was never intended for release. So there was no pressure for it to be like a final recording, even though it ended up being so. It was just play. Yeah. It was just some way.
It all ended up being final
to spark
recording.
Creativity and in isolation. And so certainly I recorded stuff that I was like, oh yeah, I'll redo this later. It's not up to my own standards.
Oh,
but we'll redo this later.
So
but we just
all of
used
the stuff, all the original like recordings were used on the final.
Yeah,
like, nothing was re-recorded.
No,
Nope.
I don't think anything.
Wow,
nothing. It's
That's
just
cool.
I was in a bedroom with an SM58.
Hey,
not the
sometimes
most
that's the best.
ideal.
And like one of the versions of Born at the Right Time, you can actually hear the battery on Laurel's smoke detector chirping.
I didn't realize that.
And I think that was kind of a cool thing too, was like there were all these little just small details that I don't even know if that made it into the final mix, but at least listening to it that first time, we kind of it was just a nice touch to have that detail. They're like, oh yeah, we were all just in our homes like singing into whatever we had, whether it was like an iPhone or what, you know,
Tin can on a string.
Did you ever get any feedback where people said, whoa, you probably put a sample in there of the smoke detector or the phone or something like that? No?
I think Don's talking about a release of his that.
No, well, it's, it would seem like that would be a type of thing that people may glom onto and think, oh, that's kind of cutesy, but they shouldn't have put that in.
I see. Sometimes I put artifacts in our show to see if anyone ever says anything like, oh, hey, was that a mistake? Or, hey, did you mean to leave that in? And sometimes you're like, well, maybe someone just didn't think enough, or maybe someone never heard it. But then other times you're like, maybe just someone was too embarrassed to tell me, like, did you mean to leave that mistake in there? Like, I kind of did. I kind of did,
It's hard to say whether or not it would be cool to leave something like that in, because on one hand it could distract you from the melody and the harmonies, but it's also this wonderful historical signature of,
Right.
oh yeah, this is very unique.
And I'm
time in our
with you
history.
on that. Yeah. I think my inclination is like anytime you're working with like whether it's recorded sound or like recorded footage, like there's just little stuff like that that just adds a layer that you couldn't really get if you were being intentional about recreating. And it just adds kind of like a character that I think is special. And the smoke detector in particular, because it's repeating and rhythmic, but it wasn't necessarily in the meter or the tempo of the song. So it was like almost like a polymeter. It's kind of cool.
Like 45-second intervals, though.
First
Were you
question.
part of the mob?
Where were you?
Yes.
I need to know. Ginny Thomas still thinks the election was stolen, Don. Did
She
you see?
does.
Yeah.
She does think the election was stolen.
Why do you think that she won't listen to reason?
Because she's an
Is that just all it is?
Yeah. I mean, I don't get into name calling that much, but you know, if the shoe fits.
If the shoe fits, if it quacks like an it's an asshole.
Exactly. Or poots like.
So is it just she can't believe that she herself is wrong, or do
she's listened to too much garbage on the internet? You know,
Gotcha.
that little screen in front of her.
the brain warp?
Yes.
Confirmation bias has turned her into a monster.
Exactly.
And do you believe her that she never talks to Clarence about anything ever?
That's hard to believe.
It's completely unbelievable, right?
Yeah, it's completely unbelievable.
If there was ever a topic, like, here's what I know based on my past relationships with people of the opposite sex. If there is ever a topic that I do not want to talk about, that for sure is the topic that comes up every single time. That has been my experience.
You go out on a date and they ask you, do you believe that Trump really won?
Well, unfortunately, I haven't been dating since Trump got elected. I was in a relationship previous to that. But I am very glad to not be in this dating world for exactly that reason. Because when the time comes that you have to say, like, so.
Okay, well, I'll rephrase that. When you sneak out of the house.
When I sneak out of the house. Yeah, it's definitely a question that I think about. I don't think I really care. In terms of romantic relationships, I don't care if you voted for Trump, but I definitely might care if you think the election was stolen.
Yeah, that is a big thing.
I might not be okay with that.
No, there's people that voted for Trump that I know of that have some good opinions. They just, they went off the rails at some point on this issue. The issue that, Trump had some good ideas.
For real. And the idea that that someone unqualified should have any kind of job whatsoever.
Right.
Hold on, I have to take this call. Hello?
Hello.
Hey.
Hey, is this Alex?
It is.
This is Andrew from the North Country.
Hey, Andrew.
Hi, Andrew.
I think we may be at an incorrect location, and we're looking for the correct location.
Okay, cool. Where are you at right now? Describe it to me.
We're at South Oakland Street.
No, that's the that's the old studio.
Yeah.
I'm gonna text you the address. You're not too far though.
If Andrew, if you go to the website, it has the right address on it. It should be
North Ivy Street?
yes,
South Ivy
South
Street.
Ivy Street,
South Ivy Street.
712 South Ivy Street.
Yeah, 712 South Ivy.
South Ivy Street.
712 South Ivy.
All right, cool. We will be there shortly.
All right, see you soon. Bye.
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 Hey, I was thinking part of their shtick could be them coming to the wrong location and just following through with everything. Like more than an hour banging on the door and humming tunes or something.
It didn't seem like the right place when the backhoe showed up.
Yeah.
There's an awful lot of dogs.
Hiya, Catherine.
They went to the other place.
Yeah.
Some cotton candy before you go.
Yes.
All right, one more. Can you start us out this time?
Me?
Yeah.
Oh.
Let's not do unison this time.
Yep.
Okay. You're gonna do hello,
Harmony?
hello,
Thirds?
No. In sequence.
Yes.
Okay.
All right. Hey, you're listening to StageCraft on WERA. My name's Amanda Dove. I'm here with Alex, Don, and Kat, and the North Country.
Hey.
Hey, how's it going?
Hello.
Yeah.
it.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah.
That was good. All right.
Excellent.
Really focused right now.
All right. Can we get to?
I don't know. For me, like when I'm writing with my bandmates, I'm always like, oh, I don't want to lose my part. That's my part. But
Right.
this was really cool because it allowed you to get outside of that mentality.
It was cool playing it live too, because there were some parts that we would play live that we didn't write, just because of the arrangement wise, it made sense for someone else to play something that someone else wrote, which was cool. I enjoyed that as well.
Yeah.
It was almost like the live performance band was different from the recording band, and it was like we were like an orchestra that had received like sheet music, and we're like, all right, now let's figure out how to play this live.
No one knew how to play the songs.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, because I definitely felt that because I listened to the album before I saw you guys, and then I saw the show, and I was like, whoa. It did feel very like a symphony, like it reminded me of like Dirty Projectors, but like your own thing, you know. But just everyone had their own like element that added to the orchestra.
Sick. Thanks.
Yeah, but you guys also went on tour.
Yeah.
How was that? And, like, do you have
Where
any?
was that?
Yeah. Where all did you go?
Yeah, we did.
Favorite cities?
We did.
Besides DC.
Yeah. We did a nine shows in 10 days, kind of up and down the East Coast. So the farthest north was East Hampton, and the farthest south was Blacksburg. Mm-hmm. And that was great. It was exhausting, but really, really wonderful.
Any strange road stories that you would like to share? Any weird interactions?
Okay,
Yeah.
Spill it.
This isn't strange per se, but one of my favorite moments was our drummer pulling up an article from like some paper that he had found.
Oh, right.
Called like Star Wars versus Star Trek.
Yeah, it was like some local paper.
So it was
like
really
a
fun to hear
Colorado,
him read aloud to the band the like philosophies of these sci-fi epics.
It's pretty astute too.
It was.
Impressed by this local writer.
Yeah. That and the Blacksburg show, which was off season for the
Tuesday
campuses
night.
on a Tuesday night. It was lit.
Yeah, that was surprise.
I will just say I went to school at Virginia Tech.
Really?
Yeah, I did. And so there were no off nights.
Yeah.
In the Berg.
Yeah.
All right.
We went out like every night, especially because the Milk Parlor used to be a different venue.
That's where we played.
I know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the Milk Parlor is like kind of new. It wasn't there when I went there, but it was a venue. They just like a new person bought it, whatever. I think it's nicer now. But I remember like that's the only place to go see music.
That's what they told us.
That's the only
we
place
were
to
like,
go.
oh my gosh, we did not expect this draw. And everybody we talked to was like, well, if anyone wants to go out tonight, this is our option.
Yeah, that's the spot, and it's cool because they get great bands.
Yeah,
like you guys, you know, like I learned about so many bands going to that little venue down there,
and everyone was so pumped for the live music. It was like they were there to engage. It was cool.
Yeah, some dude gave us a container of cannabis cotton candy.
Whoa!
Yeah. And
amazing.
it was pretty
Cotton
high,
cannabis,
and then it was a pretty high dose, but like manageable in this giant thing of cotton candy. And then we left part of it in the car, and it all like melted and condensed into this like
solidified
tiny like 80 milligram.
Smoke it. Smoke it.
Hey everybody, my name is Alex and I'm here with my buddy Don.
Hi everyone.
And we are recording an episode of StageCraft right now, and you're listening to WERA-LP 96.7 FM.
Yes. Take that pause out before I answer.
Or we could leave it in there as
We could leave it in. Yes.
pregnant pause.
But it almost sounds like I'm a little bit stupid.
Oh, dementia.
Yeah, dementia.
No, dementia would have been if you had replied with like if I had said WERLP and you had said, I don't know, penguins? That's dementia.
That's dementia, for sure.
No, just taking time, that's thoughtful.
Yes, you're right. Thoughtful. Thoughtful is a word.
Think of it as you're not getting older, Don. You're becoming more, what's the word? You're becoming more, what's it to be present in the moment? Mindful. You're becoming more mindful.
Yes, mindfulness. That's something.
Mindfulness is almost where it's at.
Yes. And wokeness, too. I like to be awake and mindful.
I do like to be awake most times, although sometimes dreams can be pretty interesting.
Yes. Oh, there's no doubt about it. Dreams can really reveal quite a bit. The North Country.
The North Country.
Sure. This song is called Born at the Right Time.
The title track.
Title track.
This is referenced in the show, really.
Of the album, what is
The album is called Born at the Right Time, Exquisite Corpse. And Exquisite Corpse is in parentheses because when it comes to titles, I always want to have my cake and eat it too.
Perfect.
Yeah. By some way and somehow we'll open up, falling like winter snow in a paper cup. First thought, best thought, last thought, forget me not. Rest your thoughts on western yachts, spots all over afterthoughts. Born at the right time, right at the wrong time. Broken wing and untold fortunes speak to me with ears that open. My eyes are wide, my heart is full, but so misunderstood. Born at the right time, right at the wrong time. Born at the right time. Right at the wrong time. Da 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 da. Dum da 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 dum. Da 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 dum. Don't go, stay here with me.
So in terms of the spirit of the creation, I like the idea that you didn't have an end result in mind, like you were going to release this, so you were just in the spirit of play. Did you find yourself at any moment during this feeling hopeless, or was this the thing that you glommed onto during an otherwise like despondent time period?
100%.
Yeah.
100%.
Can you talk a little bit about it?
Yeah, it was, I mean, it was, you know, we all remember what it was like.
I remember 4 days of the last 5 years.
Right, exactly. It's just like, and it was exciting getting like at the end of the week or however we scheduled it, like the day when we were supposed to like turn in what we'd worked on and give it to the next person. Like, you knew you were the only person hearing it, and you had no idea what you were going to get. And that was, for me at least, that was like super exciting. And I like looked forward to it through the whole week of like getting the next round and being able to work on it. So
It's like an advent calendar.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. And having to let go at the end of it.
Yes.
Because, I mean, certainly there's stuff I added that was then like got totally reworked.
Yeah.
But there was because we weren't all in a room together, there wasn't like a back and forth of ideas and like, oh, I don't know about that one. We each got to realize exactly what we wanted to add and then just let it go and see whatever other people did with it.
So after you saw the value in that, are you going to keep an element of that in, or are you just going to do everything together? Or is there any value of just doing little, 20 minutes here and there on your own to maybe just have your own space?
Yeah. I don't know the answer to that question.
Yeah. We've talked about trying to figure out some way to incorporate a similar writing technique without doing that exact process again.
It definitely opened my eyes to the unnecessariness of ruminating on it endlessly. Like, I don't have to just sit and listen to the same thing I recorded for 6 months. I could just do it in a week and move on. So that I would like to do more of that rather than sitting and ruminating.
Yeah, it is weird when you get dialed into something, right? But then what is the value of that then? Do you still do any of the ruminating on the creative process for any of your projects?
Yeah. 100%.
Personally, yes.
Because it's awesome.
I've not learned my lesson in that regard.
I can't help it. And but the benefit of this was like the structure was so rigid that you didn't have any room to do it.
Well, I totally feel. I mean, at some point, you would need to have the confirmation that is an appropriate way to move about the world.
Right,
So you have that voice in your head that says, "Let it go," and you're like, "Oh, okay,
Yeah.
I will."
Fine.
But so I love the idea of you sort of had to let go, like whatever it is that you put into there. What you knew, there's a chance that it could be completely destroyed, right?
Yeah.
Or turned upside down, or turned into something you maybe wouldn't like. So that you had to, was there an ego check that ever had to come into play? Did you ever have something come back and you were like, how dare they do that to my thing?
So it's interesting. I think there was no point where I was like disappointed. Like, I think we all trusted each other. There's got to
be such a level of trust there in any co-writing situation, because even in person that can come into play. Where, if you don't trust someone,
maybe more so in person.
Yeah, more so because people can talk over each other. Maybe somebody's like a little shyer and has a cool idea, but doesn't want to step on anybody else's toes.
Yeah, I might have the worst idea, but if I can shout you down, then I win.
Yeah, but I think I was really just delighted to hear how everybody messed around. Like, there's one song in particular, that's one of my favorites, that started with our drummer and then got sent to me. So I just received a lone drum track and just sang nonsense over it.
Which track was that?
Snow Day. And then when it got to John, he manipulated my vocals, certainly in the layout, but there's a couple places where he manipulated the pitch, and I've had to relearn live how to sing the like,
Oh, I didn't know that.
and it's so fun.
But I think that's like one of several very concrete examples I can think of where like that trust really comes in, because to be honest, I wasn't really thinking at the time of the consequences of my, like, that maybe, like, there should have been a conversation between us about, hey, like, are you cool if I tweak some stuff? I just kind of took that liberty, but I feel like at least at this point, the band is a safe space where we can do that, and we now have this trust that, like, okay, like, I contributed an idea that I thought was not dumb, but just kind of like, I was like, I don't really know. This is an idea I would throw away 99% of the time in any other setting, but I just run out of time and was like, this is different enough, and I'm gonna, like, lean on another of my bandmates to see if there's anything worth, like, doing with this. And then to go from that sort of conversation in my head to then the feeling of listening to it after everyone had added to it and being, like, almost like in tears at how beautiful. It was just such a surreal, like, roller coaster to go from, like, this is like, I hope that, because it went to our drummer next, and I was like, I hope Kirk doesn't just, like, I'm sure he's, like, there being like, what is this John guy doing in the band? And, like, and then it ended up being, like, you know, the title song of the record, and it's, like, one of my favorite songs, and that's all because of, like, yes, I planted the seed, but what everyone else did with it is what really made it flourish into something that I'm really proud of.
Are you talking about Born at the Right Time?
Yeah.
That was with you before Kirk?
Yeah.
Oh, hell yeah.
It's like some sort of musical trust fall.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We should do trust falls.
Oh God, here we go again. The conference activities.
Could we? Just one real quick.
Only if we have air mattresses.
I know, right?
Yeah, we're going to need a buffer.
But let me get the mechanics right, though. So the person who starts a song, do they determine the length of it, or could it be added onto?
It could be added onto,
or
chopped up,
added to.
Added to.
Mm-hmm.
There were no rules.
Okay. No
apparently.
rules. With none whatsoever.
Few rules.
What were the rules?
What were
Few
they?
rules.
It was like no more than, I, like, wrote it all up in a document, like
Oh,
a Google
wow.
Doc. Just, like, no more than, like, a minute or something. I could, like,
You
look
have
it
a
up.
week.
To start.
The
Yeah, you have a
timeline.
week.
But we bent a lot of the rules.
Yeah. It was just, yeah. I think we actually kept to, it wasn't like, with, like, the scheduling.
Yeah.
Okay, but right. No, but, like, the creative rules, I thought we kept to pretty good.
Yeah.
I like the idea of having a deadline because
Oh, yeah.
that kind of makes you stop and let it go and fly.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
also breaks down the idea of, like, all the egos in the band too.
Right.
Is it, like, high where the North Country, or what?
So I read, like, an interview that you did with somebody else, and there was a part in there about you just fooling around with the synth and how your wife was like, I don't know when you're going to produce any music out of this. So, so how long did it take for you to, like, fiddle around with the synth to, like, get to a place where you're comfortable writing? Or was it never a spot where you were
Right.
comfortable? It just happened, like the state of play.
Right. No, there was definitely a point where when I started playing around with the synth where my wife was like, I don't know about that. But then it might have been about 4 to 6 months in that my wife was like, oh, that's cool. So that was the turning point. But
What were you integrating into the synth parts that made it like an O instead of a
I don't know that it was anything. I mean, I think it's like the same thing with any instrument. Mm-hmm. It's just like being able to dial it in, right? And yeah, I don't think there was anything.
I think you
I got you.
Okay, cool. All right.
Do you want to go into the effects pedal?
Yeah, I thought that was interesting.
But I'm happy to, if you want more.
Do you need those back? Amiable?
Amicus is friend in Latin, so amicable.
Yes. Oh, I thought I made it up just now.
Yeah. I mean, Amanda would know him.
Yeah, she's coming. She's
Okay.
on her way. She just she has a music lesson that ended at 4.
Cool.
What's she studying?
I don't know. I didn't get into it whether what it was, but she's now moved it to 3:30, so she won't be late for that. Fire up my computer.
Probably being a employee of Seven Drum City means you have to study drums.
You think?
I think so. Rhythm, you know.
Maybe. Percussion.
Percussion. Oh, I thought someone was just walking by. Maybe my imagination.
Sorry, no, that was it. You went up on the 16th. You were supposed to go down on the 16th. It's and think, not
Yes.
not and that. No, you messed it up. Start again from the top.
Oh no, not from the top.
God bless Buddy Rich. Let's
Yeah.
get this going. It was Buddy Rich, right? Was the
Exactly.
drummer?
Yes,
Yeah.
Buddy Rich. Oh,
Amanda
yeah.
Dove.
Hi.
Hi, Amanda.
Welcome to StageCraft.
Hello.
We're
The patron
recording.
saint.
Where's
As-
the North Country?
They're not here yet.
Yes.
They went to the old studio.
Oh.
Watch out, you're sitting on the mic. But grab it. Join in the conversation. We were just talking about Seven Drum City.
We're just riffing.
Are we? I don't
Yes.
We're just riffing. And if you wanted to do a quick air check for me to have on recording, WERALP for me.
Well, you're going to have to introduce everyone around anyway again.
Why?
Why?
Why can't they do it themselves?
I guess they can. Yeah.
I feel like people need to introduce
Yes.
themselves.
Nice hair. Boy, I've never seen it done this way.
Oh,
Pulled
thanks.
back.
Yeah, pulled back halfway.
Yeah, halfway, exactly.
Help yourself to some chips if you would like in Starbursts.
Thank you. Are these those
Wrap snacks.
oh, sorry.
What are they?
Wrap snacks.
Sour cream and ranch.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
don't know about that
Wow.
flavor. Personally.
It was the better of the wrap snacks.
I see.
Are these a salt-free version?
No, come on now. Come on.
I'm gonna have to pass on the chips because like before I came here, I ate a ton of chips and salsa.
I literally just ate a bag of chips before you got here.
yeah, I can't.
Salt and pepper.
Oh, salt and pepper chips.
I
can't read
Those are delightful. I also really love these voodoo chips.
Oh, it's right.
It's the one that's a little bit of everything, right?
Yeah, I'm into those. Have you had the Mama Zuma's chips? Of
course.
Those are.
Oh, got it.
I'm a snack
Chef's kiss.
aficionado. I celebrate all the snacks.
I am not. I'm like kind of into snacks, but not like a huge snacker.
Really?
I'm not a huge snacker. No.
Ooh.
I
love a
like
good
I like
snack.
my meals. I'm like very invested in like crafting the
I
perfect
like my
meal.
meals too.
Me
I like
too.
snacks.
No.
Snacks too, yeah.
Popcorn. I mean, I love making
Oh,
popcorn.
I made popcorn last night. I had a real hangry for popcorn.
I'm a big fan of the smart food. That's why I got that one.
Oh,
I like the cheddar
is.
cheese on my popcorn.
these remind me of like an after school activity I used to do as a kid. I'd always go to the vending machine and get those. I don't know what I did though. I don't even remember the activity. I just remember the popcorn.
Was it intramural softball?
Nope.
Was it
Let's open up the
chess
voodoo.
club?
The voodoo's good. Voodoo's got like
Yes.
a barbecue Old Bay.
Optimus Club.
What was it?
Optimus Club.
No.
What is the Optimus Club? Is that really just positive people?
Is that a real club?
Yes.
Yeah, it is.
Yes.
I can tell you.
Is it positive
My
people?
father was president of an Optimist Club for 2 years.
Are you serious?
Yeah, it's
I
a
didn't
great
know that.
organization. It's just they really just help you. They award scholarships
Oh.
and they do fundraising to help kids go to college, or they have oratorical contests where kids can come in.
Oratorical contests.
Yeah.
Like the Toastmasters.
Sort of
Yeah.
like Shriners or something like that. Where they do stuff.
Yeah, I think Shriners are more health oriented, whereas these guys are just academic and helping kids and giving kids opportunities that they wouldn't normally have.
I didn't know the Shriners were health oriented.
So, I thought they were. I thought they helped. Didn't they help a hospital?
They help sick kids, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
so
yeah,
that
yeah. I know what
means-
you're saying, yeah,
I think
yeah.
they just help kids, just trying to give people.
They also love to drive those little cars.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
And wear the
Just don't have
fezzes.
little
The fezzes,
Yeah.
yeah.
They don't have it.
Optimus, the Mooses. Oh, you know, when I was in Richmond, Cali, I went out to Cali. There's the Fraternal Order of Eagles out there.
Yeah.
I saw
No,
one out
they're
there.
all over.
I did not know that.
Moose, eagles. There's so many different kinds. Lions, of course,
Lions.
Lions Club.
Yeah, yeah, the Elks Club.
Yeah, Elks Club. There's so many.
What would you,
Yeah.
if you, Amanda Dove, if you had one of these strangely named organizations, what would you, elks, mooses, what animal would you pick as your totem?
It had to be a quirky. Oh, I know, a jackalope.
The jackalopes?
Yeah.
I dig that. That's a club I can get behind.
Jackalopes are like these jackrabbits with moose antlers or deer antlers. Yeah.
I would go with the chupacabra.
Oh, you'd go chupacabra.
Chupacabras.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Those are cool, but I feel like jackalope's more on brand with me, than a chupacabra.
More information, please.
I don't know, 'cause it's like a cute, like little rabbit, but it's like kind of weird and mysterious with the antlers,
It can come at you in attack formation if need be.
Right.
I'm starting to wonder if they even existed at all. Maybe this whole time.
Maybe they're so surreal that they aren't real.
Whoa. That could be it. North Country on WERALP 96.7 FM. This is StageCraft. They're here right now, as a matter of fact.
Here. Yes, they are. Yes, they are. Matter of fact, we're setting up to have them play. It's just a matter of when they want to play, really. I mean, they choose. It's a matter of choice. It's just a matter of choice.
It's one of the choices that they're still allowed to have.
Yes, exactly. Yes. You can't have abortion, so you might as well have choice as far as audio.
I think, thank goodness the Supreme Court has not put their eyes on us yet.
Oh, but, Ginny Thomas has been emailing me every day.
Do you so that's the first question I'm going to ask them when I sit down. Is I'm going to say, where were you on January 6th?
Yes, exactly. North Country, born at the right time.
That was so good. We have a lot of great music played on this show, and that is like some of the most like mentally exhilarating stuff that we've had in a long time. It hits the right spots in the brain.
Mentally exhilarating.
Nice.
Love it.
Scratches the itches. Yeah, that's good. It makes me want to dance and read Chaucer.
Sick.
In Old English.
Yeah, we're gonna add that to our quotes.
That's great. All right, you want to wrap it up? Don, you want to wrap it up?
Sure.
Give us some words of wisdom. Oh, great one.
Boy, words of wisdom. I'm drawing a blank because the wisdom is generally an open slate that you need to put the chalk to. How's that for bullshit? Huh? You've been listening to WERA FM LP on StageCraft.
Just keep sending the checks.
Yes, keep sending the checks.
I'm convinced that if you create your own spell, it has a greater effect on your life. But very many people don't have the confidence to do this as beginners. So I think a simple spell is to light the flame of a candle and to sprinkle a circle of salt around the area that holds the candle and you. And then write down on a piece of paper what it is you want to accomplish in a very simple statement, maybe a sentence or two. And then burn this in the flame of the candle, all the while concentrating very dynamically upon the effect of the flame. And when you have burned this to an ash, then you know that what you want is about to come your way. The main purpose in the practice of witchcraft is to generate within yourself a very high level of energy that will then carry you successfully through all situations. So the main point is to psych yourself up and reach some kind of an emotional, physical, intellectual high. And this is done through a very rigid, disciplined method of performing a ritual. The people who say they are witches, and there are very many thousands of them in the United States, may or may not be witches. That I don't know. I haven't gone through any